massage it too. So
Oh,
I'm like, I know. After I went for my birthday massage, she was like, every time you go, they're always like, it's so good for you. It's like you should be consistent with these. Like, do you always get that pitch too? I always get it, and I always feel like are you trying to sell me? You know what I mean? But after I've gone, like, because I went in December while we were in Encinitas, and I went for my birthday, and I was like, you know what? I actually believe you now of this, like, it's something you should be consistent with just because it's like such a release. Like, I got a deep tissue last time, and I was like, I think she worked muscles I didn't even know I had.
I fall asleep sometimes. I went
Oh,
after I had my kids, like each time after I had children, I would go and I'd be like, make sure you wake me up in an hour because mama needs
yeah.
a nap. And
But
I
she
would,
was doing so many, like, it was so deep and in places that where I like apparently really needed it because it was like you couldn't pay me to nap during it, but it was still really relaxing. You know what
but
I mean?
they talk in a way to definitely sell you on the massage because she's massaging
Yeah.
my back and she's like, oh my, oh dear. Your your levator scapula is it's tight. And I'm like, my
Levator.
I don't know. I don't know what she's saying,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
your
Or you're
scapula,
carrying, mine is always, you're carrying so much right here in between your shoulders. And I'm like, I know I am. I
this
know.
this will trigger your knee. And I'm like, it does my neck? Oh my
I
God.
felt it. Oh my
I'm gonna
God.
book 10 appointments. I'm booking 10
Yeah.
appointments.
Yeah. So
But that
convinced.
but this is I don't know. I think it was you and I who were going back about this, but this is the month to make a move like this if you want to do self-care and stuff. Cause I don't know if I shared
Mm.
this with you, but March is the new moon month.
Okay,
I
so
know.
tell me what this means. Like new things,
Well,
new beginnings, new stuff.
well,
Because
let
I
me
did in this book, it said something about how like March, April was like the new year in astrology.
It
So
is.
is
That's
that
the thing
okay?
is this is the new like astrology start. So big things to happen. But this is I just kind of read because I like to when I hear this stuff, I need to do a bit of research. I need to sniff
Yeah.
around and be like, what are you bringing me moons? And
Yeah.
from Women in Home and they were talking about new moon March 2023 in Aries brings the fresh start you've all been waiting for. And I'm like, yes, but I think they're talking about it's the new kind of astrology calendar, right?
hmm
So the Aries new moon is the most powerful and transformative of the year, and it brings a lot of change whether you're ready or not. And that the new moon can't come quickly enough because let's face it, the whole start of this year still felt a bit rocky for a lot of people. I agree. So I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
is this a new beginning? Because
Yeah.
I wasn't totally tuned in to the new year or resolutions or anything like that. I was
Yeah.
excited, but remember you and I thought 2022 was going to be the big year of change, and it was.
Well, it was. Yeah.
But now I didn't feel like coming into January I had a vibe of what was to come.
Yeah.
I was
See, and
like,
I do. I felt like leaving 2022, I was like, that was a fuck yeah year of like, remember because we talked to Cindy about it when we had dinner there, but it was because it wasn't this like this happened and this happened and this happened, but it was like an aha big year.
it
You know what I
was.
mean? So
But
coming into 2023, I was like, I almost felt like this, okay, universe, what have you got for me? Like, I'm open. Like, my word was trust. Like, I'm trusting in myself and the universe and this process and all of the things. So I'm like, open arms, like, give it to me. But I have heard the like, March is the new year. So I think even now, I don't know, like March even for me right now, I'm like, okay, like give it to me. I feel like this shift.
yeah, well, that's what they're predicting. They're saying that this is the beginning. So if you had kind of like a sleepy or less than kind of stellar start to your new year, prepare for this action-packed bunch of months that to come, and that it's a complete vibe shift, and that this is kind of like where we want to reconnect with parts of yourself that you've ignored or criticized.
Ooh,
Uh,
I
man,
like that though.
yeah, and there are no bad parts, right? Like so it goes on to talking about how we need to really love ourselves and that you're attracting what you need and that some of us pay attention to it but some of us don't. And if you're in a highly critical state, so if you've spent the last couple months and you're like, well, why is this happening, why is me, and you're in this like critical spiral, they're saying that this is the start of just a cleansing of your own personal dialogue, which I
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
And it's the
Mm.
11th house in the new moon in March 2023 is your 11th house of friends and groups. So expect your social calendar to fill up fast. Hello.
And it is.
It is.
It is already.
I
Because
know.
we committed, I mean, even just our little circle, like we committed, I'm like, we have like a lot of little like weekend trips planned, and I'm popping in
Mhm,
here for, 3 days. Let's do this
mhm.
and that. So I feel it. I feel that
Yeah.
big
And
time.
what would be one thing that you're like, man, I'm super critical of myself about this?
Hmm. That's a hard one for me because the last year I've been working through like these two like lingering fears of mine that I think are the only things that I'm really critical about, because I don't have like my body or my thought, anything like that. But there's this like, I'm going to be alone forever story that I tell myself. And then this scarcity mindset. And, like, I remember,
Oh, yeah.
last year when you came here, you were like, you really need to like you were almost like getting on me about these two. And those are two that I've like been working over the last year to really release. And so I'm sure I'm critical in other areas for other things, but none that I can really think of outside of those two.
Well,
Go ahead.
I was just going to say what you're saying there is exactly like every time that we've hung out, that is definitely the
Yeah.
two stories that you bring up all the time on rotation for multiple years. And it's saying that this is the year where if you can be crystal clear on the things that you need to release from your own critical voice, that
Mm-hmm.
this is a transformative year. So even though like you and I in 2022, we
I love
saw
that.
huge, big like shifts, like jobs changed, partners changed. We released like big, tangible things where
Yeah.
they're saying that this is the year where you need to kind of get a bit microscopic about it and be like, this is the year to let those little things, because all those little things pile up. And then all of a sudden it's a big
Yeah.
shitstorm of negativity, hence
Yeah.
all my anxiety. And I'm in a spiral of crying. And so,
Yeah.
like, they're saying just get clear on those, because it says in this article, the new moon in March 2023 is a time to plant seeds of intention. This
Mm.
is because the actions we take and even the thoughts we have and believe during new moon take on extra weight and significance. So, how do you want to step up in this new chapter of life? Because this is truly the beginning of a new, like, astrology year.
Yeah.
And um, like, I was listening to another podcast, and he was talking about what if everything that you worry about, you tell a different story to.
Mm-hmm.
So exercise, he's the therapist, and he says, what I get my clients to do is identify, like, let's say I'm going to be alone forever. So he's like, write out kind of like a journal prompt, I guess.
Yeah.
Write that in a happiness vibe. Like, I get to be alone forever,
Yeah. Yeah.
all by myself.
Yay.
Yay.
Yeah.
I'm like, I challenge that. But
Yeah.
he was like, so what are all the positives about,
Mm-hmm.
these stories that we tell, and
Yeah.
especially with this new moon and all of
I
this,
love that. Yeah. Yeah. And I think like, I've been doing EMDR in therapy, and part of the like, I'm going to be alone forever story I've been telling myself, and you're basically like rewiring that through EMDR. And so it's like, what's the story that you want to believe? So when those feelings come up, you're believing the story that you've replaced it with, right? So for me, it was just this knowing of when the time is right, and that I'm not alone, right? Like I've got kids, and I've got my dogs, and I've got like everything I need in myself, and I've got great friendships and things like that. So it was replacing that. And then the scarcity one was, you know, I'm in a beautiful place, right? And I remember at one point, I think it was my ex father-in-law actually told me, he was like, you have options, and when you don't have options, that's when you get to freak out. And looking back over every situation, it's like I've always had options, and I feel like we always have options where you can choose a new direction, or choose to focus on this or not focus on that. And so that's what I've been telling myself. And that, so I mean, I say the loneliness and the fear of scarcity mindset, like those are things that I'm like daily working on rewiring. And I told my therapist the other day, I was like, I like, my journaling is getting harder because I don't have those two things to complain about or find solutions for or work through. You know what I mean? So
That's
she was like,
so
well,
interesting when
it
journaling is
is.
becoming harder.
Yeah. I'm like halfway through a page, and I'm like, well, fuck, I don't have anything to complain about.
God, I'm
This
solved.
is
This is
problem
looking good.
solved.
This
And
is
she was
really
like, well,
good.
maybe celebrate. Maybe it's a time to like celebrate in your journal. And so I've been just like talking about the good things and, you know, whatever comes up from that. But it's just been such an interesting shift working through those two fears, you know?
And if you believe in manifestation, if you keep celebrating, then the good stuff is just going
Yeah.
to roll. It's going to
Yeah.
roll. We're going to be filling up journals with nothing but positive intentions
Right.
and like, look at all this good stuff. And I can't
Look
believe
how awesome. Yeah.
I always wanted
Yeah.
to have my quote for a year be say like me saying, I can't believe that happened, or I can believe that happened, right? Like that
Yeah.
so many good things keep happening that I'm like, oh, look at another good thing. Oh, I
Yeah.
can believe that happened. I can believe that that happened. Like,
That's a good one.
yeah,
Yeah. I can
I
believe
can
that happened.
I can believe that happened.
Yeah.
But I have, and now be open to my suggestions. But I do think I want to get a headshot of you because I found a TV program that I think I should audition for that I think could solve your loneliness vibe, and we could find you a great guy. Have
Is
you
it Love
seen?
Island?
It's not, and I know you would go on it, no problem. Same with The Bachelorette, Raina for Bachelorette. But have you seen the TV show Married at First Sight?
I literally have, and I just finished the latest season. Like
I
that is
think this
one
is
of my favorites.
okay. So I needed to because I watched like 2 episodes binging when like I just was bored and had it
Yeah.
on in the background.
It's
I was
such
like,
a good, you should watch all of them. Like it's so good.
well, the guest guy is Devon Franklin, who is awesome. He's like a spiritual success coach, and he's done a ton of
Okay.
books, and just he's the guy that kind of drives this whole machine, apparently. But it's
Yeah.
you meet someone, and within minutes of meeting, you have to decide if you're going to get married or not,
Yeah.
right?
They meet at the altar.
They meet at the altar.
Yeah. Like they have this whole, like they go buy a wedding dress. They get told that they've got matched 2 weeks before they get married. And so they go have a bachelorette party. They go get a wedding dress. They go tell their family. They do all the things. And then at the altar is where they like see each other for the first time.
And they have to be together for 8 weeks and then decide if they stay married or divorced. What is the
Yeah.
percentage of people that stay married? Like in the first season? Like,
I've
would you,
seen 3 seasons. I've seen 3 seasons, and every single season, it's like 3 out of 5 couples stay together, or 2 out of 5 couples stay together.
man,
And then
I'd
they
be,
do a reunion, and it's like the majority of them are still married. I don't know how long after the reunion is, but like at the reunion, they're still married or still separated. And but it's so interesting. Like I told you when I was in Canada, I was like, I'm learning so much from these like reality TV shows like Love Island and Love is Blind and Married at First Sight are like the three that I watch just because it's so interesting. Like, because Love is Blind is kind of the same way, like where they meet behind like a screen and they don't see each other until they like propose, basically. So I don't know. I think it's just fascinating, but also like I can like see characteristics of myself in some of these women or some of these men and just the way they act and behave. And then sometimes like the people that I see myself in are not like the ones that stay married. And I'm just like, no wonder. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just like so many red flags. And
but I'm
I don't
part
know,
of,
like what would you do if you went up to the altar and you weren't like this was the biggest thing is that like some of the couples are they're not physically attracted to one another. And it's like you can have a
exactly.
great personality, but like you see that person and you're like, what if I'm not? And it sounds so shallow to say, but it's a real thing.
But the minute I will say, like, the minute that a guy is funny, you're hot,
100%.
right?
Yeah.
Maybe from
And
first
I
look.
like, there's people, it's like the guy's really funny and really whatever. And the girl is so just like stuck up and doesn't have the same personality, not stuck up, but like doesn't have that like maybe dry sense of humor. So she gets offended at everything he says. And he's like, I'm just trying, you know what I mean? So it's a lot of like that dynamic where it's just, the personalities don't mix, but I 100% agree. I'm like, if you make me laugh, I'm 100, like I'm 10 times more likely to just be attracted to you, regardless of what your physical looks like.
My bra pops off. Boop.
Gone. Panties, gone.
Gone. I'm like, you're funny.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
out of those 3 shows, which one would you go on? Just in case I was, going to toss your resume somewhere. I feel like
I
you're,
don't even know.
well,
I
there's
don't
some,
even know.
like Love Island. Are you somewhere tropical? I feel like that even if it doesn't work out,
Yeah.
you're somewhere
But Love
cool.
Island, it's like you're easily dismissed. And I wouldn't want that.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like they have
Mm-hmm.
like two new girls come to the island and then the guys are like, do I want them or do I, you know what I mean? Like that would probably fuck me up in the head if I were
I
on
want
that
to be
one.
somewhere where I'm definitely in control. I don't want to go somewhere
100,
where
yeah.
like a
Yeah.
bunch of guys are like, no thanks. And I'm like, fuck you
Yeah.
guys. No, I didn't like
Yeah.
you anyways. Like, no,
Right. See,
no,
and like I don't need any more like
I don't need any more
insecurity.
rejection. That's me at
Right.
16. No thanks. I
Right.
don't need to relive. No,
Yeah.
no, no.
I
I
would
was
probably
telling,
go on like Love is Blind if I picked
oh,
one. Yeah.
really?
To like meet and find out their personality, because then you know, like he's really funny, he really did this, he really did that, and then you get to see them. But like to know nothing, like Married at First Sight, and
Well,
then
yeah. I
boom,
mean, I
he's
think,
not funny and he's disgusting. Like you know what I mean? That sounded
yeah.
really
Well,
bad.
well, no, no, no. I'm with you. I think
Yeah.
you and I both grade personality a bit higher than
Yeah.
looks.
Yeah.
That's just us getting older. Back in the day, I was like, he better be hot. How hot is he?
And everyone on these shows is like mid to late 20s, like maybe early 30s. Like I can't show up on like at like 36 and be like, who wants me? You know, with I'm
Well,
just like, ugh.
there'll be some like 50-year-old that's like,
Oh
yeah,
God.
babe.
I've not seen a 50-year-old on these
Yeah,
shows.
baby. Yeah.
But do
No.
you know what
Okay.
I think about a lot, which is interesting that it comes up, not interesting that it comes up, but just I don't know. Like I every single thing, I'm like, would I go on Love is Blind? I'm like, yeah. And then at some point you have to tell that you have an ostomy. And there's like the married thing. At some point I have to tell them I haven't like I didn't realize how like I guess like in my last relationship how easy it was for me to have them know ahead of time and like make that a known thing. Where this time around I'm like, I don't even know if I want to lead with that. What happens when I have to actually tell somebody? You know what I mean? Like, because my last
Well,
relationship, I was like, follow me on Instagram. And my next relationship, I almost don't want them to see my Instagram
both of
before I
us,
meet them.
if we had our choices, we would never even open Instagram. So yeah,
Yeah,
I don't even know that you would even lead with that anymore. But
I know, but that
I
part
don't
makes
know.
me nervous again.
Oh man.
I know.
I don't know. Like, but I also don't think that like you saying I have an ostomy or I'm divorced. Like that's not, I mean, the ostomy, I'd be like, oh, cool. Like it's the same with your ex.
You
He
get,
was
oh,
like,
cool.
cool.
Can I see it?
Yeah, well, okay, that's what I said. I was like, cool. What is the deal? What is the deal?
Yeah.
Let me get in there. But I
Yeah.
would assume that a grown ass man wouldn't be like, ew. And if he
You
is,
would think. Yeah.
we can punch him in the face. Come on.
Yeah.
What's your
Well,
problem?
yeah. It would,
But
I'd
then you
probably
would,
flip a table.
yeah, yeah, we would flip tables for sure. We need to mull it up because I do have another question.
Mullets flip tables.
Yeah, mullet and some guy doesn't like the ostomy.
Yeah.
Who are you? Who are
I
you?
know. But you know, it's
But
just
it
one of
is
those things like that's maybe that's the thing that I'm critical of myself with is like,
but I also I totally understand because
yeah.
let me put this mullet on.
3.
One,
Oh.
two, you count it down. Ready?
Go.
3, 2, 1, go.
Oh God.
Ah,
Well, see, I don't have an elastic today.
I know, see, but I actually threw
Fine.
it back on my elastic. There we go.
Like,
But it's the same and definitely not in the same category as the ostomy. But sometimes, even now married, when I'm with my husband, I've had 2 kids, and I'm like, oh, I don't want you to see me naked.
yeah.
Now,
I hate that though.
no. But like, I think that
Yeah.
that's a common thing, women
Yeah.
postpartum and, even years after, right? Like our bodies
Yeah.
do change.
Yeah.
And you're just used to seeing yourself in one way and now it's different. But
Yeah.
I think the sign of a good partner, at least in my world, is that it doesn't matter what bumps, lumps, and jiggly bits I have. He's like, damn, yes. Okay. Okay. I do think that the minute that we're naked, men just lose sight of everything. Like, I don't think
you're right.
anything
You're right.
matters.
Yeah.
Nothing
No, I think you're
matters.
right. Yeah.
But
Go
I
ahead.
will tell you though, because I know you're going to agree. I started watching You,
I was just
and
going to mention a different show, but
I do have someone I wouldn't mind seeing naked, but
Joe.
yes.
Why are we so attracted to him yet he is not a good person?
He's not a good person. I don't know. And let's not spoil anything if you haven't seen it. It stars, what's his name? Penn Bagley.
I didn't even know his real name.
He's
just
from
knew him
Gossip
as
Girl.
Joe. Oh, see, I never even watched Gossip Girl.
Could you please
I was
watch
raising 2 kids when Gossip Girl came out. You know what I mean? It was like I didn't even Yeah.
But that's a staple. Gossip Girl is a staple.
I'll
But
have to watch that.
here's what's really cool about this guy is he has, because the first season is very sexy.
Yeah.
He went to the producers and everything and basically said, I'm just not comfortable with all these sex scenes. It just doesn't feel right. I'm married.
Because he's married. Yeah.
Yeah. And there was a part of me that, yes,
Good for
that's a
you.
mullet fucking man move. Like,
Yeah.
not
Speaking
just that,
up.
speaking up.
Yeah.
Do you know, I think that
With
is
the boundary, like boundaries is a mullet move. Yeah. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Somebody
because
said that on Instagram and I was like, wow.
not that, yeah, that's not normal in Hollywood or the expectations
No.
of actors. Or I can only, like, when I've heard things, and like I teach theater, and when I hear about sex scenes and like guys are in these tiny little thongs, and like, I'm just, someone that you don't know is with you, and you're trying to be super intimate and you're trying to convey this character. I get all the strategy behind the acting and the characters they're supposed to play, but I also
But you're putting your significant other in a position that might be hard for them.
And maybe a lot of people don't care. Maybe, like, women are like, or men are like, well, that's your job. Go have at her. But I just love that he said that makes me uncomfortable. And to have a man say this, this makes me uncomfortable.
Kudos to you.
And kudos. You know what I'm going to do? Puff up my mullet to you.
we tilt the mullet to you.
We tilt the mullet to you. Creating a boundary, because women have a hard time creating a boundary sexually, who we are, what we stand for.
Okay. Have you seen Sex Life?
Oh my gosh. Yes, I have.
It was such a delayed, like, oh my God, yes.
No, because there's another show.
2 seasons out now.
Yes, but there's another show, Sex Education.
Oh, yeah.
So that was
one I liked, but that one I had a hard time because they're just like in high school. And I'm like, I feel like I'm being bad. You know what I mean? Like,
you and I argued about this one. I was like, have you watched it? It's so good. And you were like,
Sex Life is like a 30-some-year-old woman. She's been with her husband for like, it's this whole, have you seen it? That's the one you've seen?
Yes, I've seen both. That's why, but for a second I was like, wait, which one? They're both.
Yeah. Oh my God. It is so like, it's outlanderish.
Well, I'm flushed. That's what's happening, is my upper lip is sweating right now. And I just got all, but even in Sex Education, I was like, what is happening with me?
I know. And that made me uncomfortable to be what's happening with me in Sex Education. Well, I'm like, this is like my daughter's age.
I know, but it was good acting and a good story.
It was great acting. But if you haven't watched Sex Life, you have to watch Sex Life. And it's also like, I have to pause it every time I hear the girl's door open, because I'm like, I can't have it. Your story of last week of like, my daughter walked in. I'm like, no. Mine are teenagers, and they'd be like, oh my God, Mom. You know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't be scarred for life. Like maybe yours would be, but it will definitely make me blush.
But it's a definite, got an Outlander vibe. And but then I also think about those actors, and I'm like, man, good for you.
That's what I was like trying. That was my point of like mentioning it, is like, I don't even know. Like, they are just like, it's like a porno.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's a full-on porno on Netflix.
And
P.S. all of our kids have access to.
I don't even want to think about that. Sasha came home, my oldest, and said that she saw 2 grade 7s kissing in the playground. And I was like, oh no. Well, she was like, oh, I saw this boy and a girl, and I think that they're boyfriend, girlfriend, and mommy, they were really kissing. And I was like, oh,
really kissing.
Yes. And I said, well, that's good. Daddy and I like to really kiss. And she was like, Mom, no. Like, don't go there with that. But it is. But you know what, though? I do like, what else do I want to watch? I want to watch about love. I want to hear some sort of trauma that a character is working through, and everything rotates around love. One love. We all understand. So,
but don't you agree? I think we said this already in one episode, but like that, like this Sex Life show, like I am so in it, and I am so in it, and like all of these shows, and like Colleen Hoover, I'm so in it that it's almost warping my idea of what a relationship is / should be.
But that's the same as social media. It warps my idea of what the perfect mother is, the perfect woman, the perfect body. And it's crazy because I do think I need to take more social media breaks because I'm on a scroll downhill where I'm like scrolling in my free time to learn nothing. Like before I used to justify it that I was learning something. I'm finding recipes. I want to find out what so-and-so bought. Like no, all I'm
It's
doing
just
is
a
it's the
dark,
same
dark
thing.
hole.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It makes me feel shitty sometimes.
Yeah. 90% of the time when I am done, like, and I honestly don't scroll that much because I will get out of it and into the real world and I feel like shit. Like I don't, not that I was maybe comparing myself or anything, but just the being on my, you know what I mean? Like just being on the phone, I just felt like I could be checking my bank account and feel like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just being plugged in and just on all the, even scrolling email, like any of that, I just feel like heavy when I get done.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel terrible. And I'm actually not reading as much. That's like
Oh,
if I want to be honest, like I'm not reading.
yeah.
I to go to bed at night and curl up with my bookie and be like, here we
Yeah.
go. If it was the Colleen Hoover or self-help or whatever, I was vibing. But now I'm just like,
Yeah.
what's happening on TikTok? I'm
Oh,
like, who
I
am
deleted
I?
TikTok.
I need to. I need to. I'm
Yeah.
like, I think
I
there's going to be
deleted it.
I know I've got to shift. I need to
Yeah.
shift. It's just not right. It is not
Yeah.
feeling aligned. However, people do need to scroll mullet. Ah,
So first scroll mullet and then put your phone away.
and then put your phone away.
That can be the
What?
cue to the boundary of social media is check mullet, then out.
Yeah, mullet and then out. Mullet and out.
Mullet and out.
It's a two-step process.
Mullet and out.
Mullet and out. Well, we've got a lot coming up.
Yeah.
I can't. One thing I can't wait is like we're hitting Venice. We're gonna have so much fun. We've got
That trip cannot come quick enough. I'm so pumped.
I'm countdown for that.
Yeah.
But one thing that I'm loving is getting some DMs from people that have listened. Or did you see somebody again put
Somebody
up
made a breakfast.
they made their mullet 5 for top breakfast items. You guys just engage with us. We're the ones who are like, oh, hey, oh my gosh, that's hilarious. And we want to reshare and grow this and go buy yourself a mullet. And the whole point of this is just to have a laugh, find your confidence and embrace this new moon. Like this is change, people.
Yeah. But we did I was thinking about this the other day because we haven't done this, is like when we were in the works of creating mullet and what is it going to be and what are we going to talk about and all of these things, it was the mansplaining came up.
Oh, exactly.
And we haven't done that. So maybe in one of the upcoming episodes, we'll start to incorporate some of that because men and their language, like it's just there's some interesting things going on in the world.
Yeah, and we were going to kind of tackle those topics from the female in a mullet, and we were going to girl-splain. So we will girl-splain man things. Yeah, we're going to girl-splain man things to clarify the world and make you feel more empowered because the days of self-criticism need to wash away because we've got March, a new moon, it's dropping now, and you guys just slide into our DMs.
Yeah.
Go check us out on YouTube, Instagram, everything. We want to say hi at all times. And please tune in next week. We'll be back.
Mullets out.
Mullets out.